Last night, Thursday, February 17, I decided to try Hawaiian baby Woodrose seeds to fulfill my curiosities. At 4 p.m. on Wednesday I scraped the dried fuzz on the seeds, ate HBWR seeds and roasted them for a few seconds over a candle, to make sure they were good and cleaned. Then using a very clean coffee grinder I ground the seeds into a coarse powder, the best I could get, and put them into some Kool-Aid. I let the mixture sit in the fridge covered for 24 hours. On Thursday I made it a point to eat nothing at all, only a can of Mountain Dew for breakfast and water, 'cause I read that HBWR can make you nauseous. At 4:45 I held my nose and chugged the concoction, which didn't taste all too terrible. I then went to my best friend's house, who happens to live next door to me, to wait for the fun to begin. We popped in a DVD, Pleasantville, at 5. About halfway into the movie, 6:30, I started getting that kind of queasy headache feel. Kinda like after downing a bottle of Tussin, but not as intense. It was bearable and started to go away soon. I noticed an intense fascination with the movie, almost as if I was fully a part of it. I realized I was intensely transfixed when my friend had to shake me to respond to his question, which I hadn't even heard. I have dosed on acid a few times and hit the DXM rush more times than I care to recall, so all of this is going to be compared with acid or DXM. Also, I will say right now, this is not the same as acid, it is rather more like a good DXM rush. When the movie ended around 7 p.m. I was feeling great. Body movement was an interesting procedure. When I got up to pee, which I found myself doing a lot, it was as if I were moving in many different directions all at once. My friend, who was stone sober, suggested we take a walk so he could smoke some weed. I would have toked up too if I wasn't being tested. I proceeded to walk along with strange vigor. Unlike most drugs, HBWR does not change your perception of cold, which it was frosty balls outside, but I didn't mind. The closest thing I can compare it to was the peak of a DXM rush after smoking entirely too much weed. You know that warm fuzzy feeling in the back of your head right behind your eyes. It is about 8 p.m. when we get back. I find myself fascinated with fire, which oddly enough didn't burn, rather it just felt warm, real warm, judging by the blisters on my fingers which just started hurting today. My friend was playing the piano while I sat gazing into the flame of a candle, feeling as if my body was falling into a pleasant warmth. An hour later I decided to go home and try to play some PlayStation. Bad idea, it just messes with your head and gives you that nachos headache which didn't go away. About 10 p.m. I started slowly coming down. I was still real fascinated with everything. I couldn't stop watching QVC for like a half hour. By this time I was pretty straight with only a mild buzz to keep me going. The whole experience was very similar to high doses of marijuana smoke coupled with the intense fascination and mellow mood one gets from a good clean DXM trip. Not cough syrup but rather powder or pure DXM without ephedrine in it. My suggestion for dosing on HBWR is to go see something with friends, like a movie or a show that you can sit and become entranced in. For the most part one was completely coherent. If my parents couldn't tell I was all jacked up, no one could have. So I think it is a good drug to take before going out with friends, or take it with friends. Either way it's a fun time. I did however get a headache real bad about midnight. I think that might have been due to dehydration because HBWR makes you pee like mad. So the next time I do it, which will be for the Rocky Horror Picture Show next weekend, I will be sure to drink plenty of water to keep hydrated. After some Advil I was out like a light until I woke up at 10 a.m. totally refreshed and feeling great, with no unpleasant hangover effects. This has been the account of my experience. I hope you use the information to have a safe and happy trip to a Hawaiian paradise. P.S. I will write about the Rocky Horror Picture Show and tell you how it went.